hope you guys aren't gonna get tired of that view because you're probably gonna see it a lot. What's up, how's it going, everybody? Thank you for hanging out with me again today. We are getting a lot of road noise, but no motorcycles, no motorcycles. We have a lot going on today. I have a lot planned, but first I wanted to run through a couple things that have happened between videos. The first of which is this whole area that you guys can see here is just all open space alongside the house and garden area. And you can kind of see in some of this that there are X's on the ground, and that is because I'm gonna be doing melons and pumpkins out here. I'm really, really excited. So yesterday I went through and I marked out 10 spots for mounds to do the pumpkins on. I'm gonna do 4 different varieties of pumpkins, which you guys will see in a little bit. I have a little bit of a seed haul that we're gonna run through later. And then on this side, just past it, which that's the fence for the backyard, on this side, I'm gonna clear out some space over here. I don't know how much yet, because I don't know how much I'm gonna need, but I wanna do sunflowers back here too. So we've got a bunch of space over here. So we're gonna do sunflowers and pumpkins and melons and all kinds of fun stuff. So that is new out here. And then as far as inside the garden, nothing has really changed. I did map out the garden boxes and took measurements because today we're gonna work on getting some of the lumber up here for the garden boxes. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video, but we actually are gonna be repurposing lumber from the property, from like old fence boards and stuff. So I went down last night and I pulled out a bunch of boards that I think will work, and then I took measurements. So today I'm gonna go back down there and I'm gonna cut things to length so that I don't have to haul more than I need to up here. I'm gonna cut things to length and then bring everything up here. Probably won't get to putting them together today, but we're working towards it. And then I think the only other thing is that seed haul that I mentioned. I went by the nursery the other day. I picked up a ton of seeds, like probably the majority of what I'm gonna grow this season. So I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to show you guys. I have plans for a garden bed that you haven't heard about yet, so lots coming your way. So let's jump into it. First thing that we're gonna do today though is I'm gonna put the umbrella up because it is super bright out here and I need some shade. As always, we got to throw in a nod to ADHD. I set my water bottle here some point yesterday and promptly forgot that it was here. But hey, gotta stay hydrated. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this quick because we got chickens and cows and all kinds of noise over here. But if you guys take a look down here, this is all the lumber. Whoa! This is all the lumber that I pulled out of the pile that I think is gonna work for us. So I've got my measurements and everything. So I'm just gonna get to measuring this out, laying it out, and cutting it down to size. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this quick because they're dirt biking again, which I think is gonna become problematic for filming videos out here, but you know, it is what it is. So basically, all of my power tools ran out of battery. I don't have any more charged batteries. I'm gonna work on getting some of the wood up here, and then we're gonna go from there. It's gonna take a while because it is kind of a far walk from where I have to go, and some of the boards are really heavy, and I'm gonna have to do them individually, so wish me luck. It's also getting really hot out here. Ugh. All right, so I've got all the wood up here, and most of it is cut. but not all of it is cut because I ran out of battery, like I said a second ago. So basically I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get some of it cleaned up and maybe moved around, but other than that, I can't do anything until I get battery power again. So I don't know what to tell you, but I did want to show you guys something. So as you guys can see, there is a section right here that comes off the fence that is level with the house, and then it comes to the gate area. And that kind of creates this little niche right here. And I think what I want to do is I want to take and put a border through here and connect it to the corner of the house and here and bump this out and make this a little garden bed because I have, as you will see in a second, some dahlia bulbs, and I think that that would be really cool up along the back of the fence line. I might even put some morning glory or something on this fence here. I have morning glory and sweet pea, and I'm deciding if I want to do the morning glory or the sweet pea on this side. But if I put a bunch of tall stuff up against the fence line, you won't really be able to see a whole lot of the sweet pea. So just things to consider, but I'm thinking about putting that there. Would be kind of nice. Okay, so I went ahead and moved inside because A, it was hot outside, and B, the motorcycles and the quads were still going on. So moved inside. This is the kitchen table. And this is the front porch behind me, if you guys were wondering. But we're gonna do the seed haul portion. So this is what you guys came for. Welcome. I'm super excited. I went very crazy at the seed store. Before I bought all of these seeds, I had one packet of seed that I had purchased at a previous trip. That was it. And then when we get into the bulb section, these, things are falling over. These bulbs I actually brought from my last house, and some of them I didn't know if they were going to be valid, so I pulled them out of the ground, and it looks like some of them are crispy and some of them are in fact valid, which is awesome. It might only be that one, which is fine, because I actually bought more of these because I didn't think any of them were valid. And these are Dutch Iris. So we will get to more of this in a second because I got a bunch more of those as well. So we're gonna jump in right now, and I'm just gonna get some of the vegetable stuff out of the way because I have more flowers than I have vegetables. So that's how we're gonna break this up. So the first category here are the root vegetables. I will be picking up carrots at some point too. I have some really standard radishes and I have some really standard beets. I plan on also doing carrots, and this will be in that middle garden bed. In the bed behind it, closer to the wall, that is gonna be the bed that primarily has tomato plants in it. So I don't have any seeds for that. I don't plan on starting seeds for tomato plants because I only need 3 plants. If I was doing a big tomato crop in the ground elsewhere, I would start seeds, but it's not that serious. In the 3-foot by 3-foot bed that is kind of off to the side, I'm gonna be doing this Market More cucumber, which is just looks like a regular store cucumber to me. And then I'm also gonna be doing lemon cucumber. So I'm gonna do 2 sets of each of those, and then I'm gonna vine them up something like a teepee trellis is what I'm thinking right now. Eventually, I will need to figure out where to put my herb garden. So this is mammoth basil. I never have good luck with basil, so starting it from seeds probably going to be even worse, but like we'll see how it goes. This might be something that I plant in between or around the tomato plants if I can, but they both get kind of large, so we'll see. But those beds are big. 3 by 8 is a lot of space, but tomato plants get big, so I gotta be careful. Earlier we talked about our pumpkin patch and melon patch, so getting into that real quick. The 3 melons that I'm gonna do out there, I have a crimson sweet watermelon, I have a Hale's Best Jumbo Cantaloupe, and I have a honeydew melon. So just 3 really generic, straightforward varieties of the 3 melons. I'm probably gonna do 1 mound each of these guys just because I don't want more than that. I think that would be a lot. And then as far as the pumpkins go, I have 4 different varieties of pumpkins. So of course we have our traditional jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. And then I also picked up a fairy tale pumpkin. The Cinderella pumpkin, I was gonna do 1 Cinderella pumpkin as well, but they were very similar. So I decided to just do the fairy tale pumpkin. And then of course white pumpkins and Jack B. Little pumpkins. So these guys are like 3 to 4 inches in diameter, so they're just gonna be kind of like a small filler pumpkin. I'm hoping to get a big pumpkin crop so that I can do a big pumpkin display out on the front porch here when fall comes around. And the next thing that would be outside of the gates, and as we kind of transition over onto the flower side, are our sunflower garden. So as of right now, I have 3 different varieties of sunflower that I plan on planting. I have a variety called Chocolat, which is a darker centered with a light tipped sunflower, which I think is really pretty. I love dark sunflowers. They're probably my favorites. In contrast with that though, I also picked up a sunflower called Vanilla Ice. It's a very pale sunflower. I think will be super pretty. And then you can't have a sunflower patch without having just a traditional sunflower. So this one is Little Dorite F1 Hybrid. So pretty standard. Those are the three that I have right now. I could very easily pick up more. I can't plant any of this until April, early May, so we'll see what happens. As I see more sunflowers, I might grab some more. On that note, before we go back into the flower garden area of the internal fenced-in garden area, I did pick up this sweet pea mix. So this is a perennial mix. The sweet peas aren't perennial here, but I believe that means that I can collect the seeds, which is awesome. So I'll probably be doing that this year. And then past that, this is just a really awesome mix of like pinks and purples and whites. So just a general easy sweet pea mix. And then of course, just a traditional morning glory. So this is the standard blue morning glory with the broad leaf, very vigorous grower. This one I believe is an annual in our area. I think it freezes back, but it might come back up off the ground every year. I'm not quite sure about that. So going back into the fenced-in area and looking at what I want to do in the actual flower garden area, in the flower bed, I have a whole bunch of stuff right here. The first one is actually a seed pack. The local nursery that I go to is called Andrew Seeds, and they actually have a bunch of bulk seed. And they didn't have any seed packs pre-packaged for alyssum, so I just bought a 1/4 ounce of alyssum seed. So if you can imagine, alyssum seed is tiny. Like we're talking like smaller than quinoa, right? And so if you know what quinoa is, that's probably maybe like chia seeds. They're very small. So a 1/4 ounce of this is a lot of alyssum seed. But what I like to do with alyssum seed is I like to sprinkle it in the fronts of flower beds because it is just so prolific. It is just an awesome kind of filler if I need fillers anywhere and I don't want to spend a bunch on annuals down at the nursery. So alyssum, I love it. Just white alyssum. Also, it smells great. It's one of my favorite scents in the garden. Alyssum. Alyssum, alyssum, alyssum. So the next couple things are going to be actual things that I specifically bought for the cut flower garden, or I specifically bought them because I've always wanted them in my garden. And the first two on this list, let me get them in order. The first two on this list are straw flowers. These are excellent cut flowers. They're so cool because they last forever. And they're just really interesting flowers too. And they come in so many different varieties. The first one is called a vintage white straw flower. It is a very cool, very simple straw flower, white flower. Super cool. The next one is not in order, I thought they were. Very similar in colors, but different textures, which is awesome. This is a straw flower mix, so I'm not exactly sure what I will get out of this, but this is multiple different colors of reds and yellows and pinks. Very, very cool. Again, same structure, but they get this kind of like crispy petal thing, and I've never liked them before, but after last year, I saw some people using them in arrangements from their flower garden, and I just thought it was super, super cool. So, straw flowers. The next two on the list are cosmos. Cosmos are super cool. The plants themselves take up a lot of space, so I'm a little bit nervous about that, so they might not get planted in the flower garden, but I have this pink and white cosmo, which is awesome. It's a pink center with white around the edges. And then I have a mix of cosmos. So this mix, double click blend. So these are also the ruffly cosmos, and these come in a couple different colors. So I'll be interested to see what we actually get out of these seeds. So two different types of cosmos. And then the only other two flowers that I have, I picked up some brown-eyed Susans, which are very similar to black-eyed Susans. I just think that the petals are a little bit shorter, so it makes a tighter flower. And I think that these are going to go really well in the sunflower arrangements because they believe they have about the same gestational and maturity period. None of the sunflowers state when they would get blooms, which is, oh, okay, well this one's 75 to 90 days, which is perfect because these are 100 days. So I don't know why I couldn't find it on the other two, but sunflowers bloom all summer, so I'm not super concerned. But yeah, so brown-eyed Susans instead of black-eyed Susans, a tighter, compact flower, and of course, zinnias. just a mix of zinnias. I think these are called State Fair zinnia. So they're just kind of the ruffly ones. They look a little bit flatter than the puffball zinnias. I'm not a huge fan of those. To me, they kind of look like knockoff dahlias, but these were super cool, and they come in a bunch of different colors. This is a mix, so I don't know what I'm gonna get. Past that, I've got a bunch of bulbs, rhizomes, whatever you want to call them. They all are different slightly, but one of the ones that I'm really excited for that have never actually grown before are ranunculus. I wanted a single color variety. They didn't have one. That doesn't mean that I won't be able to find one. I just wanted to pick them up because I saw them. These are from a big box store, which I don't love buying from, but I just wanted to make sure that I had some in my garden this year. And if my local nursery ends up carrying different varieties, I'll probably pick some more up later. But I will be growing ranunculus. These will probably go into the cut flower garden bed, just because I want these flowers to be as pristine as possible. And I will be cutting these to put these in arrangements. The next item on the list is another item I've never grown before, and it's actually peony. So these will not go into the cut flower bed because these plants get very large, I believe. So yeah, 34 to 36 inches. So these get pretty big. So these will probably go into a garden bed somewhere. These will probably be more for display in that garden bed, but I will probably end up cutting a couple of these off. These are just a light pink peony. I am very excited to grow these. I've never grown them before, but I love this flower. Moving on from that, we already kind of touched on it. We've got Dutch irises. This is a bag of 40 Dutch irises. So I think what I'm gonna do with these, because these are an early bloomer, they're an early summer bloomer as far as I know. These, I think I'm going to put them along the fence line in that garden bed that we talked about earlier. So these will go up against the fence line. I'll probably plant them in with the dahlias, which I'm about to show you in a second. And they'll get all kind of planted up in there. So these will come up, these will bloom while the dahlias are growing in, and then the dahlias will groom. So I'll have height and color up against the fence line in the back of the bed, hopefully all summer long. That's the goal. Structuring, staggering, we'll see how it goes. And now, the best part of all, the thing I am most excited for, I'm realizing how bad the echo is in here, so this audio is probably going to be rough, sorry about that, is the dahlias. So I have a couple dahlias that I brought with me that are out on the front porch, and they may or may not make it because I left them in the ground. So they probably have frozen, they probably got too wet, they probably got soggy, but I'm just gonna let them come back up. If they come back up, great. If they don't, oh well. So the first one is just a really fun, fluffy, white dahlia. This dahlia is gonna get probably like 6 inches wide, huge blooms, 6 to 7 inches in diameter, big, fluffy, and white. Just kind of a filler. I love this. I'm so excited for these. Just big pops, beautiful, fluffy white flowers. Now to contrast that, something kind of similar, I think the blooms are gonna be slightly smaller than those, but it's this white with pink tips, and I am so excited to see how this comes out. These look absolutely beautiful. I am very, very excited for these. I'm really excited for these and the same similar colored cosmos that I got. I actually didn't realize that these were so similar. These cosmos are the flat cosmos with the white interior with the pink tips, very similar to how this is. I think that that's gonna make a super interesting kind of monochromatic display. So yeah, I'm very excited to have these mixed in with these. Just ecstatic. Alright guys, and that is it for the seed haul. These are all of the seeds I got. This is not all that's going to be grown in the garden, but this is a majority, hopefully, of what I'm going to be doing this year. Of course, this is only one garden space, one garden bed. I might extend into making other garden beds in different areas, but I'm trying not to bite off too much this year. So this is what we got. It's already a lot of work. We've covered a lot in today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.